time and attention. We cannot express to you how much we appreciate you. I'm Javon Curtis, along with Corey Woodland. This episode is focused on the accomplishment of generational trauma. I repeat, the accomplishment of generational trauma. Accomplishment being meant as a negative. The black community is plagued with misguided youth, intense prejudice, and hatred. Gun violence, stolen cars, and just a blank disregard for life. In these days, it seems as if going to prison is more popular than getting an education. The system has implemented a system to keep the prisons full of minority men and youth. Why are there not alternative programs for youth offenders? The only end result shouldn't be just prison. And why are non-minority offenders more likely to receive drug programs, which also knocks off a percentage of their sentence, while minority offenders receive no incentive and have to serve 85% to 100% of their time? Most of the leaders of these communities are in prison or lying in the grave. Masculinity, discipline, motivation, and experience is absent. How do we end this tragedy and instill to the generations to come that the need to do better is a priority? The present time is a liability. The youth must understand that they are greater than their choices. The lack of value is causing black communities to lose. Only with the tragic loss of George Floyd, the black community has been granted the opportunity for better opportunities. Can we start to outnumber the numbers stacked against us? We fight for every other reason except equality. Why does our normal differ from other races? Is our sense of normal gone? Why is poverty not being linked to the rise of more issues of mental health? Why is drug usage not seen as a coping mechanism? These issues are a concoction of poisons that continue generational trauma. At the beginning, I said accomplishment of generational trauma. We must wake up to who we are and turn their accomplishment into failures. Now, that is said in a way meaning that the system put in place from slavery time has so far been working. Let's have the courage to grow and evolve. The truth as we know it must be shattered. Give up your way of thinking. Be a fool again for the culture. Family is the foundation. Change starts at home. For years, we have been taught by what was seen and not by what was read. Generational trauma has a list of faces: higher women mortality rate when giving birth, gun violence, mass incarceration, disparity when sentencing minorities, better positions in the career fields, economic disadvantages, police brutality, lack of education, school to prison pipeline. The list goes on and on. These points are being spoken upon to stimulate the interest. Our culture is going backwards, both morally and intellectually. Let's have a collective and take a helpful leap towards the right direction. Now, just to touch on the brief subject of mass incarceration, black men make up 1.1 million of the total 2.3 million people incarcerated in the United States. Now, also on to touch on female mortality rate, a documentary that was recently showed how the mortality rate in black women were way higher than those of whites after giving birth. The issue at hand was the post-care and also the lack of prenatal care. To elaborate more and give intimate insight on our topics today, I'm going to pass the mic to my brother, Corey Woodland. There will be a continuation on the topic of generational trauma. We look forward to your opinions on the topic. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on, family? This is boss man Corey, and thanks once again for tuning in to episode 5 of the Hood Paralegal podcast. And like my brother stated, we elaborating on generational trauma. I want to start off by defining what post-life abortion means, because a lot of emphasis is being placed on pre-life abortion, but post-life abortion is forgot about, and the definition of that is denying adequate health care to reduce the length of existence, of a people. And that's exactly what the government is doing to our people. Now, as far as generational trauma, a major disparity exists within the number of blacks who, for reasons, neglect their health more than whites. Often we won't seek medical treatment until a disease has progressed to an irreversible stage. Lack of health insurance leads many to forego screenings for illnesses, such as cancers, until it's too late for effective treatment. Then there are those of us who don't trust the medical system or have resigned themselves to the fatalistic belief that good health and good care are simply not an option for black folks. Now, our habits, custom, and motivators are influenced by unique history and social stimuli. The pain and mental duress vary drastically. These factors, however, do not mitigate the crisis. Self-destructive behaviors such as operating and overeating, smoking, drugs, and alcohol addiction, and irresponsible sexual activity and other high-risk behaviors amount to slow suicide. Another point is that blacks endure in silence or engage in denial while our loved ones suffer or die from poor diets, smoking, depression, and sedentary lifestyles. In fact, we develop defenses to validate obesity and a laundry list of fear-based reasons why we should not see a doctor. Now, we know we have poor eating habits, and some of our most cherished dishes are laden with fat and salt, but we deny the damage with excuses that this is the way we always ate. We aren't deaf or blind to the media messages we created to get us to consume bad food and addictive products such as liquor and menthol cigarettes. And we tolerate these insults because the products help us cope with unknown feelings and undiagnosed anxieties. Now, one thing we can't do is discount our history and the unresolved trauma that cue these destructive responses. Negative, distorted, self-critical, and self-hating attitudes branded into us for centuries, as well as our often distinctive and distorted rationalizations about weight, food, and body image, fuel many of our health disorders. And most important is the scant attention paid to the strategic and manipulative media messages that urge us to consume deadly products or engage in risky, life-threatening behavior. Now, many of the black-on-black homicides in our community should really be classified as secondhand suicides, considering the root causes of self-destructive behavior, including such mental health issues as anxiety and depression brought on by the stress of home life, lack of healthy self-esteem, and prevailing incidence of hopelessness among black males and youth. The homicide rate should actually be no surprise. Now, for people who have been labeled mentally inferior for centuries, it's tough to confess feelings of depression, mental fatigue, or instability. For many, such feelings betray our positive image.
All calls other than properly placed attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
Many such feelings betray our positive images as strong, resilient people who stood with unimaginable adversity. The image is real, as are the benefits derived from our ancestors who sacrificed, so we shouldn't have to live as endangered second-class citizens. In other words, our ticket has been paid, and we have the right to be equal and healthy. Now, I want to bust down the capitalist game, regarding these marketers and advertisers and CEOs and stuff and these corporations that push the poison. The marketers who push the poison that's killing us have mastered the art of exploiting our weakness. The media, through magazine articles, ads, social media, and other avenues and dueling techniques that distance us from critical thinking and make us detour to the refrigerator, to the liquor store, the club, or anywhere that allows us to fill this void with poison. From a renewed perspective, we can see the food industry for what it is, an engine that's in business to sell goods and services and make profits for itself and its shareholders. It's a machine that operates so well it even makes its transgression seem benevolent. Consider that America's corporate elite directs donations to civil rights organizations, hospitals, youth clubs, and other health-related charities and endeavors in exchange for positive PR. That's crazy. With the right marketing pitch, they gain consumer trust and put forth the illusion that they are giving back almost as much as they are bringing in. And most often, the small percentage of donations is only a tiny fraction of the profit these companies derive from the problems they help create. And the poison pushers have mastered the art of exploiting our weaknesses. Now it's time to play our unexpected trump card. In conclusion, education is a necessity and indeed the difference between life or death. We need education, but an education that removes us from the shackles of slavery and servitude. We can't heal if we don't know how to, which means we have to empower each other and ourselves to commit to creating new standards and discovering innovative ways to balance fun with responsibility and good health. We have to get checkups, eat to live, exercise, seek professional mental health, and create healing strategies for ourselves, families, and communities. Black health practitioners have to form a collective dedicated to and aimed at helping Black people address this health crisis so we can gain control over our destiny. These solutions are within our control, and once we commit to seeing ourselves as conscious creators of our own destinies, once we lovingly attend to our own minds, bodies, and souls, generational trauma can transform into generational healing. Now, in addition, you all can check local clinics for mental health treatment that charge a sliding scale based off of your income. And, generational trauma is a real thing, and once we understand it, we can correct it. And as I advise you every episode, protect your health and stay blessed. And we appreciate you all, and stay tuned in for episode 6. Love and peace and success to everyone.